Time. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right? So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon. Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row. Big Ten champions.
National champions, yes. The Ducks take home an indoor national title.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
Oh, what a nice day in the Willamette Valley and a great day to welcome Deputy Athletic Director Lisa Peterson into the Country Financial Studio.
Thanks, Joey.
So great to have you again. We got the return segment, the triumphant return for Lisa Peterson.
Yeah.
How's the new office? Are you settled in yet?
No, don't come by.
Really?
I'm getting a lot of criticism because it's blank. I'm full transparency. I'm waiting on some paint and a different desk. So it's part of the negotiation process and me coming back. But you walk in it and everyone's like, are you gonna stay here or is this temporary? I gotta get it to look right.
Serious question.
Okay. I don't like serious questions from Joey.
Well, we're going to talk about the great week ahead. It's beautiful weather in the Emerald Valley. We've got big-time matchups for a bunch of different sports here in Eugene. On the diamond, first place in the Big Ten is going to be on the line at the Jane this weekend. So on that note,
just got goosebumps.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Right? Talking with Coach Lombardi, a number 5 Oregon versus number 6 UCLA coming to town this weekend.
Wow.
Outstanding. Coach Lombardi is going to be with us coming up in a couple segments. Also, Dan Lanning after practice today, and some notes from the scrimmage on Saturday. A lot to unpack. We had baseball yesterday.
So I'm just the preview of an incredible show
You're
that
the
you
leadoff
have.
hitter.
I don't know. I feel like I'm the warm-up act.
Nope. Leadoff hitter. Leadoff hitter. Opening drive.
Okay. All right. Let's go with it. I got it.
First leg of the relay.
Oh, now way to put it in my terms.
Going.
There we go.
All
right.
But we didn't have a show yesterday because baseball played in the morning at Georgetown.
Oh, that's right.
And in case there's an extra inning game, I've always said I don't want to mess with that. Like, we're not going to have a show if the game goes really long. So anyway,
they ended it early.
They did. They did. 12 runs is nice for Oregon baseball.
It is nice.
They will obviously have a big week coming up against UCLA as well. So a lot to unpack on the show today. But have you done, because this happened like when we bought our home, okay? When we bought our home, and there were a few times, I fully admit, driving home from the office, where I went to the old apartment. I started going to the old apartment and was like, nope, got to go the other way. So have you walked in to the athletic suite, the offices yet, and have you veered toward the old office?
No, I haven't. But there's a reason. But there's a reason why.
Okay.
Because so when I left, I have an assigned parking spot, and when we left, I lost that assigned spot. When I came back, I had Eric's old spot. Well, Eric's old spot right now is in the middle of the construction. So I haven't been able to park there, which means that I'm parking in a completely different parking lot, which means I'm coming into the building in a completely different way. So that's why. Now, when I'm actually able to park back in the spot that I'm supposed to, and then come in that way, that could happen. But I haven't done that yet.
Bravo.
So I feel like that's probably why the brain hasn't done that. And hopefully, who knows how long that'll be. It could be long enough where I won't do that. But but I do go sit in Val's office because, it definitely has better windows.
And you can just talk to Val.
I do talk to Val.
Right. So there's a little bit of inside, if you're not familiar with Lisa returning, with Eric Rodell departing off in his career. And so as a result, there's been office movement. And I didn't know, if maybe you'd be coming back and be like, so Val. So Val, this office over here on the other side of the hall is really nice.
It's really nice.
And so
she actually has the best office in the suite.
And is that because you picked that office?
No, that was just like when people move or when you leave and you come in, like that's just how it happens. But
didn't you pick that office once upon a time?
No.
Oh,
I just got put into that.
It was just there. Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Because of whoever was in there before I came.
Huh. Okay.
No, I didn't get to pick anything.
All right.
Yeah. But I am picking the paint color and my desk.
What color's the paint?
I'm being told it's a light gray, which is kind of what my house that's probably it.
It's like a darker gray. Ours is
it's supposed to be on the
gray.
5th floor of something. So I don't know if it's the 5th floor of track. I don't know. But it was used on the 5th floor.
We repainted the 5th floor of Autzen.
Okay. Is that a light gray?
Could have been that. It is a light gray.
That's the color.
Okay.
And
good
then
color.
the countertops are black.
Oh, fancy.
And then the desk is gray.
We kind of did black. The desk is our desk is wood and black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know. The desk is not here yet. So.
Okay. We're all going to find out.
Yeah.
Please come back with updates.
With updates, of course.
Next
Of course.
time.
Maybe we could do photos.
Please. Yes.
Yeah.
The before and after, like the renovation show. Phenomenal.
I will do a before. There is nothing on the wall.
I seriously thought that at some point you would have walked into Val's office and been like, nope, never mind, going over here.
Well, again, if I was coming in the way that I normally did, I think that's a real possibility.
Okay. All right.
But no, I have not yet.
Lisa Peterson, Deputy Athletic Director. She
is
did not know that I was
very
going.
important information that we're sharing with the Duck fans today.
She did not know that I was going to go that way, but I had to at least start off. I'm in a good mood. Like
you
it's
are.
beautiful
What's
today.
going on?
Well, wow. I am okay. Wait, I have to ask you this. So you've known me from student Joey until now.
Yes.
So you have a unique perspective on this.
I do.
Okay. Would you consider me an optimist, a realist, or a pessimist?
Compared to the other people in my life or just in general?
Both?
I would definitely say you're more of an optimist. Do others not think that?
Right. That's right.
They don't think that?
I think I'm a realist. I think I am the truest definition of a realist.
I don't know because
all of my interns do not think that.
So the only reason that I said optimist, because even when it's bad, I feel like you have a positive attitude. Like I don't think that I've ever been around a mad or mean Joey. Is that fair? Is that just because I've been around?
One of our interns and one of my students in her broadcast capstone class, Cam Salinas, is sitting here giving me like a furrowed face.
Yeah, and I'm seeing her eyes
right now.
Yeah.
So I want everyone to remember this. Thank
you. But am
Lisa.
I wrong? Like I have also been told that the version of people that I get isn't always the truest version of people. So
I don't know. I'm pretty real with you.
You are. I mean, again, I think of us sitting in the really, really bad boxes in Oklahoma City in softball when you were a student, begging to go cover softball.
Yeah. That was a great time.
That was a long time ago.
Great time. Oklahoma City, though. And, hey, Ducks might be back there this year.
Oh,
see how
Joey.
things go.
Knock on wood.
Knock
is your desk wood? Whatever's wood.
Come on, we're at Oregon. This is real wood.
Yeah.
That desk that you're getting better be.
It's fun to watch them right now.
It's so great. And it's fun, I'm sure, for you. Like, you got to be a fan a little bit from afar.
I did.
I bet you had some FOMO, right?
Oh.
And now,
some.
Like, back at the Jane. Like, how excited are you even to just be back at the Jane for a weekend like this?
No, I love it. And, Missy and I talk frequently about it and just being able to see, the growth of that program. And let's be honest, there was a lot of bumps and there was a lot of dark days, but I finally feel like she's getting to the fruits of the labor of all of that and everything that program has been through. And I mean, there's nothing that I want more than that program to be successful. So not that I don't want that with all of our sports, just that one, everything.
You worked closely with them for a long time.
Yeah. And so it's a lot of fun. And I'll be honest with you, I've said it to her and I've said it to the student athlete, but Kedri Lushar, I'm just beyond overjoyed that she's gotten an opportunity and she's taken advantage of it. I mean, she's been here for 4 years and she's our leading hitter. She's ESPN top 10, like
top 10 play.
I love someone who has been able to ride the waves that happen in college athletics, and she's getting her moment, and it's well deserved. And so I love all of that for her.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, I thought that too. Like, and you think about the tandem that the Lushar sisters are,
right?
And in some ways, it's fun because they are different players, right?
Completely, and people.
Yeah, very much, and it's
and
fun to see that.
Yeah,
the Jane's gonna be awesome this weekend. I understand that there are still limited tickets available at the Bob. In the Bob. At the Bob? In the Bob? On the Bob?
At. In?
On?
On? It's not on.
There are limited tickets available,
For.
and you can sit.
For the
and
Bob.
You can sit
I think it's for.
within the Bob. I
Gosh,
think,
we are really on a tangent
boy,
here today.
technically all of those are true.
Probably.
Yeah.
Not on, though. You're not on it.
You're sitting on the bleachers, which the Bob are the bleachers. The Bob is the bleachers.
Okay. I'm definitely not a preposition major.
No.
Yeah. But we have so many, like, this could be, I know that you're going to get to it later in your show, but this weekend with what we have going on with track, with what we have going on with baseball, we've got tennises, like, we've got softball, we could have thousands of people here.
Yeah.
When it's supposed to be beautiful weather, like what better way to spend a beautiful weekend in the Willamette Valley?
And what an audition for the following weekend, which is the spring game, which figures to be, outstanding as usual, great weather, a fascinating example to me every year of just how big of a community event the spring game is. You can take that a step further, like Food for Lane County, it's the biggest fundraiser they do every year.
It is. I'm just really glad that, Dan Lanning chose to not go the way of some of the other programs and keep the spring game. I think it's really cool. And for me, I know it sounds crazy. I've only been gone 2 seasons, but I didn't know anybody on this team. And so I went to practice on Saturday and, I've got my roster. Thanks, Nate. And trying to learn who people are. And it was a lot of fun. It's going to be exciting. I mean, you don't know where you are April, whatever day, but I think it's a really cool thing. And it's a culmination of a lot of hard work for a lot of people coming in. I don't think that people understand, especially for the players that, came in after the break, like what they've got to do, how they've got to get up to speed. And it's literally just how do you practice, because wherever they were before, whether that's high school or another school, it's going to be completely different. And then meshing them with what we had and then trying to get elite. Like there's so much that happens in all of that. Again, going out there, I don't know if I'm sure you've been to practice, but it is organized chaos. And it is shocking to me the level of detail that goes into something like that because there's hundreds of people out there. But it is all so well run. And I just think that's a true testament to Dan and his staff as to how they do that. It's phenomenal. Like I literally just love sitting out there and watching how it all transpires.
Yeah, Coach Lanning's talked a lot about how, a lot of members of his staff have talked a lot about how the 2-spot practices, right? So they will literally run, in some cases, 2 different practices. Well, with the construction happening here, even just today, I'll give you an example. I don't think Coach Lanning will be mad at me for saying this, hopefully. The Ducks did 2-spot field goal today. So, for example, one from the 10-yard line on one hash, one from the 35-yard line at the other hash.
Yeah. Running
2 field goal scenarios at the same time.
Yeah.
And those are the sorts of things you think about, just the repetition that comes for a new student athlete.
Yeah.
And the benefit that has for experience.
Exactly. No, it was phenomenal. And I'm just excited to see the spring game. I think that we have a lot of talent. And what I've said since the day I got back, I was sitting in the HDC in the little lobby area waiting for someone, and these guys walked by, and I was just like looking up, and I'm like, when did we get so large? And I mean that in the best way possible. Right. Like we have a different, type of player that we are recruiting here, and it's phenomenal. Yeah. And that's why we are where we are.
Well, we talked a little bit last time you were on about a month ago, and again, the triumphant return, talking with Deputy Athletic Director Lisa Peterson. So with your new role now, working more with football, how's that gone so far? How's it been?
It's been great. I mean, again, I don't know a fifth of what I should know as far as like people and stuff like that go, but
that's what spring football's for. It's about development.
Exactly. There's just a lot of people. But no, I've enjoyed it. I mean, in general, I like football. Like for those of you that know, I'm a big Chiefs fan. We won't talk about the Super Bowl, but, I've always been a football fan. And so now, getting the opportunity to work with them in a different way. It's not just about the bad stuff. And so I've enjoyed it, and I just want to get to know them and see where I can help.
Have you discussed your Chief fandom with Coach Lanning?
No, but he's a Chiefs fan, isn't he?
Big Chiefs fan.
Yeah. See? He's a Midwest guy.
It tracks.
It tracks.
You working closely with them, yeah. Mm-hmm. It makes sense to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Quick timeout. I do want to talk about track and field because
Yes.
this has been, in a lot of ways, a long time coming, a multi-team scored event at Hayward Field. That's what's coming up this weekend at Hayward, which is pretty special. And it's supposed to be 70 degrees.
Exactly.
And sunny.
And sunny.
Outstanding. We're going to come back. Lisa Peterson with us. What a day. Optimist. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Duck Insider continues from the Country Financial Studios in 1 minute on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said,
if it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You know, we didn't have that feature on our broadcast when you left. And we talked about it a little bit. Like, now we're playing all the fight songs, shout,
I know.
come
it's
back
awesome.
from break. It's so much more fun.
Yeah.
So much more fun. Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Deputy Athletic Director Lisa Peterson with us. Track and field, dare I say, also has a dear place in your heart.
Absolutely.
As a track and field, I'm going to say savant.
Why?
That you are. You're an expert on track and field.
I mean, I've just been in the sport for a long time. So if you count longevity,
haven't you been on the selection committee for that sport?
Yes.
Lisa Peterson, track and field savant.
Savant's a really high title.
I mean, you.
Yes, I love track and field. I love. Yes, it's.
How much has that sport changed since you competed?
Oh my gosh. Well, let's just put it in perspective. I had a record at St. John's.
Yeah.
In the hammer.
Yeah.
That was a few years ago. That throw wouldn't even, I mean, it wouldn't get marked probably at any meets because it's so short.
Well, I couldn't even throw it that far ever in my life, so.
Right, but I'm just saying like that, and to be fair, the hammer, I was always told it takes 7 years to master the event, but and you don't throw it in high school in most places, and some you do. But I mean 20. Oh my gosh, I'm more like 30 years ago. I just don't. It doesn't even come close. So, and that's just in my one event.
Right.
So think of. I mean, do you remember when the 4 mile mark was like the mark?
Now
Yeah, I mean it's all the time. Yeah. And what I was talking with we had some visitors checking out our facility, and what I love the most about track here, and I remember this from 1993 when I competed out here, is that this fan base knows good performances. Yep. And they obviously cheer for the Ducks and anyone who's connected with the Ducks, but they know what a good performance is and they cheer for that. And that there is no other place in this country that happens, just because of, I mean, we truly are track town. We may have named that ourselves, but we live it.
I don't think you can give yourself your own nickname like that, though. Like, everyone.
Yeah, I don't know how that all came about. I don't know, but it, like, again, I remember leaving here, and one of the things that I loved about it was my coach. I had a great coach in college. We came out, we stayed in Portland for a night, and we went to Mount Hood. So I'm standing in snow in June. We went to the Nike store in Portland, and at that time it felt like this big beautiful city where there was hardly any people here. And then we are by the water when we're driving, and then we come down to Eugene, and I'm competing in the USA Championships, and there's Jackie Joyner-Kersee, and there's it was literally one of the best weekends in my life. And then the fact that I am back out here working, this is my home. Cool. It's just phenomenal. But I love this community with track. Like, people want to emulate this, and you can't without this community.
And talking about the community, I know it's been a big ask from the fan base. Like, let's have a regular season meet that's a scored meet, and now you're getting that with one of the two meets this weekend on Friday and Saturday. Pretty outstanding.
No, it's amazing. And Jerry and I were talking about it, and he's really excited about it and wants to continue doing this going forward. And the teams that we've got competing in here, I mean, it's going to be fantastic. And I think the toughest thing for our fans is you just got to figure out your day so that you can get to all of the events.
A lot going on, which is a good problem to have as we continue with Lisa Peterson, Deputy Athletic Director. So you got softball, which we talked about, baseball against UCLA. Both the tennis teams are in action. A lot to follow. There's so much to cover. What else is going on in your world? Anything? Nothing? Nothing else on your desk these days? Anything?
No. Well, what might be surprising is that I'm doing a lot of learning. I came back in a different role and getting to work, with Billy Blood, who's our CFO, and Mike DiMartini. We had to do the FY26 budget, which I've only peripherally been associated with that. And so trying to figure all that out, which was, again, that was my past life. That's what I used to do before I came here, but not this way. And so, diving into what all that looks like, that's been very educational. And then HR, Mark Rockworth and I talk every single day, just because that's what's going on. And so it's really a lot of learning with all of that. And then we can add on to that just all the changes that are happening in college athletics. And I know that you've talked about the House settlement, but what's going to happen is there's going to be two separate systems. There's going to be a clearinghouse. There's going to be a cap management, and you've got to learn both systems and how we're going to do that and continue to stay at the top.
And it's still changing. Here we are saying April 15th, right? So we talked a little bit behind the broadcast. It was like, okay, so what have you talked about? The truth is everything's still in flux.
It is in flux.
So how do you handle that? How do you manage for that moving forward?
Well, right now, like learning the systems, it's really just going off of what we know. And then, but if this changes, so like as you're learning the sim, but if this changes, then this, it's scenario planning. But again, like there's no guidebook for it. What I will say is that the people that we are working with are doing a really good job of educating us. And, we've got a lot of calls, which, it feels redundant, but you're learning a new way. And there's going to be bumps along the way. But I'm excited to figure all that part out. I kind of get nerded out with all that sort of stuff, which is,
you have to.
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
Hey, I work in college athletics. There's a reason that we have guests on the program to learn about such things. And you get to figure all that out.
Yes.
And then we just ask you, so Lisa, what's happening in the world? And this is what I you've heard me say this before. I'm a professional regurgitator. That's all I do. I listen to people who are a lot smarter than me, who have an expertise in
But you
something.
put your own flair on it, Joey.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See? Optimist. Optimist. What else should fans know, though? Anything exciting?
Well, just with the spring game, I know that there's going to be a lot of communication that comes out, especially next week. But as you've mentioned, as they've seen, we have a lot of construction going on.
We do.
And so I strongly encourage you to purchase your parking pass so that you have a spot when you come here. It's pretty easy to get in and out. But there will be maps and things like that, helping with the flow of traffic and how to get people in. And then obviously we have an amazing baseball series after that, the spring game, and just what that will look like. Hopefully the weather cooperates. I think it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be, great. Get out here when the lot's open. There's, the plan is to have entertainment and some food trucks and things like that. And so I would just say, stay on the lookout for the communication that's going to come out. It'll help with all of that, but also just be patient. I mean, what it's like when you lose part of a road and the flow of getting in, but I'm excited.
It's a little different than what you're used to.
Yeah.
Just to plant the seeds.
But there is shuttles and
and some of the shuttles will operate a little different. It's just the routes will be a little different. So just head on a swivel.
Exactly. But the good news is that this is just going to be, from a football standpoint, it will just be the spring game, and the intent is to have the flow back before the season starts.
Yep. And let me tell you, the construction, it's cool to see. It's amazing how fast it goes.
Yes.
I'm always amazed at that. Like, there's a big crane outside the windows of the HDC right now. Let me tell you, that crane is an impressive sight.
Yes.
Speaking as somebody who has a 2-year-old who thinks construction sites are really awesome, I got to be honest with you, I became a 2-year-old again here for the last few weeks watching this, and it was pretty cool.
I still have to get past the fact that you've got children. You not just one, but multiple. Yeah. It's just, I mean, you're still that kid back in the press box in Oklahoma City.
Well, I'm just glad you remember the press box in Oklahoma City and not a tarp at Howe Field.
Yeah, I was going to let that go.
Yeah. I think one of the best pictures of me of all time is literally laying on top of the broadcast equipment, because the overhang that the facilities crew, you remember the overhang that the facilities crew built for our broadcast location at Howe Field, it was awesome. I'm not kidding you. Like, it was truly an engineering marvel. Okay?
Yes.
Well,
Except for the wind.
There was a lot of rain, a lot of wind one day, and it became stormy. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And I have a great picture of a very drenched me covering the equipment.
You're talking about the one that you had to climb up.
Yes.
Okay. One of my favorite, for those of you who've been to Howe Field, because that's what it was, Jenny Finch had to climb up there when we were hosting softball. And she's like, where do I have to go? And she's got her heels on, climbing up the stairs so that she can do the broadcast from that eye in the sky.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I think Adam Amin was doing play-by-play. I remember talking to
Adam. That was literally one of my favorite moments.
Hey. Then you got the Jane.
Phenomenal. I remember, PJ obviously was around when we were designing, and she said, "Can you just have like the broadcaster be able to be behind home plate?"
Yeah.
Hey, we made a lot of progress. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
It is cool to see it,
but it makes you appreciate what we have as well.
No doubt. That's what I was just gonna say. Like, look, every time I need just a moment of clarity, I ask Herb.
Right?
Like,
and he'll remember it.
And he will remember exactly where something was in a specific year. And I just go, yeah, Herb, what was it like before the mow was here? As we now have the 2-point mow, right?
Right.
And here we are.
Do you have him on the show?
We haven't in a while, but it's probably time for another Herb
He's
segment.
Just a wealth of knowledge, and I love his storytelling. Like, he's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. Herb Yamanaka has done literally every job in the department.
Yes.
It's
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, I'm sure that you have a meeting that you need to go to.
Yes.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Appreciate your time.
And I'm going to start calling him a realist just to get with the interns.
Thank you. Hey, I think I'd rather be a realist than a pessimist.
Yeah, I definitely don't see you as a pessimist.
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe I am projecting your personality and attitude as to what category I put you in, because you are always, like I said, I've not been around you on a bad day. I'm sure you have them, but I haven't been around you on them. So
Cam just vigorously nodded her head. Cam's directing the show today. Everybody.
Congratulations, Cam.
And I think I call it like I see it, which
go.
is ultimately what my job is.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
Like, if the score is 2-0 and the Ducks are losing, and I'm not necessarily gonna say, well, it's 2-0 bad guys.
True. Well, thanks for letting me be the warm-up to your phenomenal rest of your show.
Next up, Melyssa Lombardi, Oregon softball head coach. It's rivalry week, and then it's still rivalry week over the weekend. Lisa, thank you.
Thanks, Joey.
Timeout. Back with Coach Lombardi on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
More Duck Insider from the Country Financial Studios after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack and Oregon softball head coach Melyssa Lombardi in the Country Financial Studio. Coming off a series sweep on the road. Tough to do. Swept Minnesota for the 5th Big Ten Series win. 4th Big Ten Series sweep, and it sets up a great week in the state of Oregon. Yes. Rivalry on Wednesday. First place in the Big Ten is on the line Friday through Sunday. Coach, how'd I do? Did I miss anything?
Nope, I think you got it all.
All right, thanks. That's Coach Lombardi. Big week, though, ahead, Coach. And I always like to look back chronologically before we look ahead. But a really impressive sweep on the road. Some gritty performances, some outstanding performances. Let's start generally. What'd you see from your team against Minnesota?
I think just that, very gritty, and had to just really push hard. It's tough to beat an opponent 3 times and to do that at their place is even harder. Yeah. So we knew each game was going to look a little different. Our first game, I think we handled it pretty well, but we knew the second and third game we were only going to get, increase in difficulty. Yeah.
We talked about this before a couple times throughout this year, Coach, where your team just seems to have that grit, the come-from-behind mentality, and I asked you a little bit about this. I wanted to follow up. You just have this energy about this team that they just have this belief that they're always gonna win. Okay, I want to go back now. How do you foster that as a coach? Is it in the offseason? Is it just the personality of the team? Is it recruiting, that you recruit the right players? Maybe it's everything, and maybe I just answered my own question, but I wanted to ask the expert today.
I think it's all that. I think it's number one, getting the right people together. And this group they love each other. They love to compete with each other. They love to compete for each other. The relationships that they have on and off the field, they work really hard. It's not surface level at all with this group. And I think that those are the things that make big differences. This group, since we got together in the fall and went on our first retreat, have been on this journey of trying to understand how are we going to be great together. And it's just been a major problem. It just didn't start at the beginning of the season. Yeah. This has been going on for a while.
I mean, it's so hard to quantify the intangibles, right? But I feel like you can start to quantify them a little bit with, like, come from behind wins at this point in the season, for example. And so Ducks are 38-4 overall. That is the best record through 42 games in the program's history. Now, I know it's not the end of the season, but it's at least a chance for me to say, Coach, great start for 42 games. Now, for the season ahead, though, just what do you want to see? What's the next step for the team, I suppose? What are the next growth points for your squad?
I think for them, it's really clear what they want, what they need to do. I think it's just us understanding how to elevate in all areas. We were talking today prior to practice about being hyper-focused and the things that we need to do individually and as a team. And that just, I think, really resonated with them.
Well, and you talk about, to that point, a deep team that was on display this past weekend. You know, different heroes throughout each game. But I wanted to ask you a little bit about Elise Sokolski. Really tough closing out 2 games. It's a different mentality when you're coming in, right, versus starting. Just what did you see from Elise this weekend?
Just ice in her veins. You know, we brought her in really tight moments, and watching her thrive and work ahead and getting people to swing through her changeup and just competing. I love when the pitchers come in for each other because they hug each other and say, I got you, and then they take care of their business. And you could see Elise do that.
Especially Sunday. I mean, all 6 batters that she faced, she retired after Minnesota had cut the lead to 1, and that's huge. I mean, that takes some mental grit, doesn't it?
It does. It does. She understands how to come in and close. It's the mindset is different than starting. So to be able to have a great mindset of understanding how to be a great starter and a closer, it's pretty scary.
The Luchar tandem, if you will. This weekend, I want to ask you a little bit about Kedri. I mean, made a SportsCenter top 10 catch, which is always fun when you get that recognition in the top plays. Also hit a homer over the weekend. It continues to be pretty steady for you, Kedri Luchar.
She has. She's been steady all year. Just love, like, her bat has been steady all year, but then you just continue to see her defense just get better and better. That catch that she made was a top 10. It's probably one of the best catches I've seen. And then right after that, she had a catch to her glove side where she's going to either catch it or she has to trap it. And she made that play look very easy as well.
It's amazing to think about the defense, and you talk about, like, over the course of a season, how do you get to 38 wins at this point? Like, I know you take a lot of pride in the defense, and plays like that can really add up over the course of the year, can't they?
It does, and it allows us to build momentum. It allows us to take momentum off defense and take it right into offense.
How big of a deal is that? Like, I something like a broadcaster always would say, right? Like, oh, I made the diving play in the outfield. Now they're going to come up and carry the momentum because they're sometimes the way that it works, right? Then they hit the next inning, right? Like, it sounds like you're really a believer in that momentum.
We are. We talk about it a lot and how we can just constantly hand off momentum from one to the other. And I think that's when we're at our very best.
Your lineup also got a little bit deeper this weekend. Cool to see the return of Emma Cox and Ayanna Shaw. That had to be fun to see that for your team.
It was. And to see our team and the way they reacted, for those guys to get into the lineup and to have success and just to be able to be back on the field and healthy, we needed that. We do need everybody. And, you know, you're going to face different pitchers. There's going to be different matchups. And so to have more opportunity with different matchups goes a long way.
You answered a bit of it there. Like, how did it change the depth of your team? How does it change things moving forward for your lineup?
It does. Like, I just think about Kedri and I think about Ayanna as lefties, and one of the matchups this weekend were them as lefties. So pushing Kedri up and, you know, getting Ayanna in there, it allowed us to have some really good results.
You can play those matchups
a
little bit for sure. Talking softball with Coach Lombardi. All right, so now first, Wednesday, rubber match of the season series against Oregon State. 6 o'clock in Corvallis. Hope to see a lot of green and yellow up there in Corvallis. Figures to be a big game. It's important to win the in-state rivalry, isn't it?
Absolutely. This is we've been waiting for this game. You know, we're tied 1-1, and it's about going and getting the series. So this group's ready to go.
You had some success last time you were up there. What were some keys to that one, and what do you want to see tomorrow?
I thought our at-bats, we had quality at-bats. Thought we were timely with what we did, and Elise did a great job, and our defense of giving us opportunity to win.
So that's on Wednesday. That's the first step. But then, everybody, you're back at the Jane for what looks to be sunny 70 all weekend. Number 5, Oregon. Number 6, UCLA, with first place in the Big Ten on the line. Both teams are 11-1. This feels like postseason, doesn't it?
Yes, I love it.
You know, to that point, like I know you never shy away, Coach, from that postseason experience. Just how much can the fans help you for a postseason experience this weekend?
100%. I just think about our fans and what they do for us and the home field advantage that they give us. I always talk about the Lions Den and just listening to them roar and to the rumble of the stadium. But our fans are huge, and that's why our team loves. I mean, this is their favorite stadium to play in is at the Jane because of what our fans do for us.
Friday, the promotion. There's a promo, by the way, every day of this season series, or of this weekend series, I should say. Friday is the Lead Her game. Wanted to have you tell fans a little bit about that.
Yeah, Lead Her, it's special. We talk a lot about, as females, we talk a lot about being boss ladies and just taking care of our business and really understanding these girls come in as young girls and they should walk away as women. And I think it's important for the women in our community and the women in Oregon for us to have the opportunity to get to know women that are local, that can mentor our athletes, that can support our athletes, that can love on our athletes, that can guide them, because we get to come and play softball for 4 years, and then after that, it's time to get into the real world. And so I just think the support that we have gotten over the years from just all different types of women in our community has been unbelievable. And that's what they do. We want them to lead us. I think of the mentors that I have here and how they've helped me and just to have that special connection with our athletes and to help them for what's next or what maybe they need right in that moment has been wonderful.
Yeah, that's outstanding. That's coming up on Friday. Saturday, Bark in the Park, one of my favorite days. And then Sunday, post-game Easter egg hunt.
Let's go.
I'm telling you, that's going to be the competition. Believe me, if you all have not seen like the post-game Easter egg hunt, when those eggs go out, the dead sprint coach, I mean, the first to third time is impressive for these young people that get after it. Just be careful. Don't trip on any eggs. Not that I've seen that happen, ever. Not that I've ever seen that happen. Also, I understand that there are still limited tickets available in the Bob for the weekend. Maybe as I'm saying this on the air, they will all be gone. I don't know, but it can make a huge difference.
It does. It does. I can't wait. These guys work really hard, and to be able to celebrate what they do in front of the greatest fans out there is huge. So we're looking forward to an unbelievable weekend.
They're a good team. You're a good team. That's what it's all about. Some keys to success against UCLA, jumping ahead a little bit.
I would say, what they've been doing up to this point, just understanding we're going to face a really good team in UCLA. So the ability to be timely with our hitting, to have great defense, and our pitchers give us opportunity to win.
Coach Lombardi, Oregon State, 6 o'clock Wednesday, UCLA. First place in the Big Ten on the line this weekend. This is what it's all about. These are the games why you come to Oregon, right?
Absolutely.
Coach Lombardi with us. Thank you, Coach. Best of luck. It's going to be sunny at first pitch, 70 degrees at first pitch at the Jane. Nothing better. Feels like postseason. This is great. Timeout. When we return, spring football also continuing. Dan Lanning met with the media today. Film review following the first scrimmage. We'll break that down next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This message is for Shauna, my mom who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You taught me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back in the Country Financial Studio. We're back to In the Bob, on the Bob. Back inside the Country Financial Studio. I'm Joey Mack. It's Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. So we didn't have Duck Insider on Monday with baseball, so we've got two parts of Coach Lanning for you. One, initial reaction after the scrimmage on Saturday. Coach Lanning, part one, his takeaways right off the field as the Ducks did scrimmage inside Autzen on Saturday. Here's Coach Lanning.
Beautiful day in Eugene, man. It was a great day for some football. I thought our guys went out there and had competitive toughness, really operated fairly clean. Certainly some things to clean up, but saw some good from both sides of the ball, some explosive plays on offense, some great pursuit from defense. Got to get an opportunity to look at the film and see exactly what we saw, but our guys worked today.
All right, front right, Zach.
Anything you guys did in terms of leadership, not on the field play, but in terms of stepping up vocally today?
Yeah, I saw some of that. So I still want to see more. Just pointed out a couple good examples out there on the field today. So continue to always look for more of that.
Front left, James.
Dan, it's been a pretty big story the last 48 hours in college football. Did you contact Josh Heupel or anyone at Tennessee or
I'm not getting anything else except let's talk about a scrimmage today. The Ducks worked really hard at a scrimmage today.
Kind of talked about kind of throughout the week that defense won the scrimmage or the practice last week. What kind of response did you see from the offense in today's scrimmage?
Yeah, we had just an example of that. Ball was backed up probably at the 4 or 3 yard line and had a big play, explosive touchdown, shortly after that. So that's what you want to see, in spring ball is some back and forth. And I thought we had some good back and forth today. Went both ways at times. The times, offense had success, third down period, defense had success. So it was just some good competitive periods today.
Physicality is something you've always emphasized in practice. How do you think that showed up today?
Yeah, well, we were tackling, right? And I think that's how you become a great football team. You got to practice it, so it doesn't happen on accident. And I think you saw some really good moments of that. Again, anxious to watch the film and see what showed up.
Back left, Matt. When you have a new quarterback or whoever it's going to be, what are you looking for to stand out in a scrimmage for you?
Say it again.
When you got a new opening at quarterback position, what are you looking for to show up with those guys in the scrimmage?
Yeah, efficiency, right? Like who can operate, keep the ball out of jeopardy, right? Who understands the system? The thing about quarterback is you got to be able to get everybody lined up. You got to understand the protections. You got to understand the play clock, right? The operation. So there's a lot that we ask our quarterback to do here. I think that allows them to play fast once they get in a real rhythm of that. But who's moving the ball down the field, right? Matriculating the ball down the field. Who's creating, touchdowns, right? Makes the play of the people around them better, and then is able to operate our system.
Back right, Brett.
Coach, obviously spring game just a couple weeks away now at this point. How far along do you feel like the team is at this point, and do you feel like they're maybe excelling or a little bit further beyond where you want them to be at this point?
I feel like we're at practice 8, right? We just had practice 8 and got opportunities to continue to get some more work here over the next few weeks. So right now I'm worried about what's next, not looking too far down the road.
Front left, James.
Today or the first 8 practices in general, just what have you seen from Alex Harkey and Emmanuel Pregnon on the offensive line?
Well, both, physically gifted guys. I think they walk out there with a temperament. There's very few teams that I've been around that have an O-line that feels like our O-line, right? And I think that's credit to Coach Terry and the guys that support him in the offensive, in the offensive line room, Coach Cutter, right? Coach Warmack, Coach Walk, those guys, they all work extremely hard. And you see that showing up with guys like Pregnon and guys like Harkey that you mentioned, but also several other guys in that room. They're close, connected, work hard, and there's a lot of room for growth and opportunities for us to get better there, but those guys are working.
In the back, Aaron.
You just touched on all spring about the impressive talent, but the lack of experience in a lot of these position groups. this upcoming season. I'm curious, in a scrimmage, just how much experience does that help some of these younger players that are going to have to step up into these new roles? Like what's that experience like compared to maybe a game experience, compared to maybe what they're going to see in the spring game?
Yeah, I mean that's you get better football by playing football. So days like today make us better, right? And every one of those situations is different. We want it to be as close to game day as we can on days like today, but there's a difference, right? And you're working against your own team, right? And there's some real competitive periods, but you got to move on to the next play too. So I think we get to see all those things in these scrimmages, but we're going to take advantage of every scrimmage, every practice we can to create that.
Back left, Matt. How much do you tell your quarterbacks not to be what Bo did or what Dylan did, and how much have they kind of embraced playing to who they are and not trying to live up to what the guys previously did?
I think that's everybody in our organization, right? Not just exclusively quarterbacks. I think coaches have to be who they are, right? Players have to be who they are. So everybody understands that, but I also know where's one on a play progression, right? Where do my eyes need to start? What do I need to be able to do? And there's a teaching progression, a play progression to everything that we do. Same with quarterbacks. So I'm more concerned about, are their eyes in the right spot to start, right? Are they making the right calls, the right reads, the right checks? And are they putting the ball in jeopardy? Are they protecting the ball? But you have to be you when you're out there on that field.
Two more. Jared on the left.
A lot of youth, but some talent there in the cornerback room. Just how do you feel like they performed today, and what are the things you're trying to see in a scrimmage compared to what you see every day in practice?
You said corner?
Corner, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some good, some bad, right? Saw some physicality show up today. Some guys have to make tackles in space, which is one of the hardest things to do in football. Saw some guys get beat over the top at times today too. So that's going to happen, right? And what we got to do is learn from those mistakes. But I see a group that's really hungry, eager to learn, taking advantage of their opportunities when they're on the field, and maximizing those chances.
Last question, James.
Where have you seen Amari Washington develop this spring specifically, and how important has his patience been, Dan, in this time and with transfer portal, et cetera? Because the interior D-line class before him, those guys left. Some guys who came in with him, they left. But now his patience is in line.
Yeah, I mean, Mari's got unbelievable ability that we're really excited about. And you see a guy that's worked extremely hard since he got here. Sometimes it's hard, early on to be able to make huge contributions there on the defensive line, but he's become a guy that we really count on. He has explosive power. He has great strength, and he understands his job when he's out there on the field. So really proud of his progress and the teammate that he is and what he does for our team.
That's Dan Lanning, the Oregon football head coach, meeting with the media. So that was Saturday after the scrimmage. The Ducks were back at practice this morning, and we'll talk more with Coach Lanning coming up as he met with the media after practice today. Every time we talk with Coach Lanning, it's brought to you by the Wayne Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Better cancer care close to home. We're going to get a timeout. When we come back, more Oregon football here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial.
Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy. Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
A lot going on a Tuesday edition of Duck Insider. Heard a bit from Coach Lanning there. He did meet with the media, if you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour just a little while ago. We don't have enough time in today's show for his full conversation, so I don't want to shortchange him. We'll have that to lead off tomorrow's show, some of his thoughts after Tuesday's practice, today's practice. But today, we did also hear from Bear Alexander, USC D-line transfer, who has been a big addition in more ways than one to Oregon's defensive line. Let's hear a little bit from Bear Alexander to close the show today.
Fans will say any number of things from the outside looking in without knowing what's going on in the process. What's it kind of like having to block that out and just kind of focus on the main thing, focus on the work, and just, keep your head down?
I mean, it's fun to block out the noise and, like I said, just get better day in and day out and be coached for real. So just ignore all the outside noise.
James, front left. Go back to your first college game. It was against these guys. And I don't know if you remember this, but after the game, two of their offensive linemen asked you how old you were, and you said you were a freshman, and that stuck out to them because they were sixth-year seniors. One of them's now on this coaching staff in Ryan Walk. So just what is your journey been like, and what is it like going up against guys who he's now coaching when you played him 3-4 years ago?
Man, it's been a fun ride. It's a similar defense, so just being able to pick up and learn the defense over. So just being able to go out and compete versus guys I'm kind of used to, like Emmanuel Pregnon. It's dope.
Back to Chris on the right.
Yeah, you said you want to develop and get better and improve. And what areas specifically, what are you working on right now? And what areas do you want to develop?
And just becoming a better run defender for sure. So being a better run defender and my pass rush, just being able to rush the passer better.
You mentioned Emmanuel. I'm sure you guys had plenty of good battles at USC, but what has it been like going up against him in practice so far, and what makes him good at his position?
Man, iron's been sharper than iron. I'm sure Coach Terry is developing them, getting them right. We've been just going at it.
Bear Alexander, Oregon defensive line transfer. It's going to be fun to watch him in an Oregon jersey. It has been so far at spring practice. Busy show. Thanks again to Lisa Peterson, Missy Lombardi, Dan Lanning. Tomorrow, more Oregon football, a lot of softball, baseball, Dev Ed.
Put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe.